I would like to use the frozen eggs. And, I had to get my husband on side for that because he was like, oh, yeah. So he was very, very kind of like, okay, I've seen couples go down IVF in the past and I've seen it destroy them. I'd been single for a long time. I knew that I'd found a gem of a husband. I wanted to keep him. I didn't want, like the search for a baby to destroy us in some way as well. We went and he said, okay, we'll do this. But basically, he kind of put the limits of how many attempts we would go, and we wouldn't go down the embryo side. And he was quite clear that he didn't want to go for adoption as well if it didn't work out. So it was like, we've got these eggs, we'll do what we can with this. We're not going to go down the donor egg thing, and we're not going to go down adoption at the end. We're going to give this a shot and then see what's what. In a way, looking back, I think it was really important that then he did set those limits, because I wasn't capable of setting limits. I would have destroyed us in some way of just going and going and going. I think somebody in the relationship has to, or somewhere in yourself, you have to find a way of going, hey, this is the limits, this is how far we're going to go. Clearly it wasn't successful, or I wouldn't be sitting here today. So I think I had 12 frozen eggs, because obviously I hadn't met my husband. They weren't embryos, they were eggs. It was like one of these, like, I don't know, pop idol concert things where, people were getting eliminated every day. Well, my eggs felt like they were getting eliminated every day, and we got down to one, which might have had chromosome difficulties. We did some tests on it, and they said everybody in the world has some type of chromosome disorder, and this disorder that this egg had, or this embryo had, in the end wasn't significant, but still we had to sign papers and all of that type of stuff and said, okay, yeah, it's not, it didn't seem like it was anything serious. So that was implanted, and I felt like I was pregnant. So yeah, I was surprised that when I got the call to say that then I wasn't. The process versus freezing the eggs versus implanting the embryo is much, much more gentle, or it was in my experience, because we're saying everybody's experience is different. It was much gentler than it was. So, I didn't have those, you didn't have to inject hormones and all of that type of stuff. It was then, basically it was a much less invasive process in some ways.
Did you name that embryo?
Only probably, was it 1 year ago, I would say. So this is 2019, and that one that then I didn't feel like was a baby, and then suddenly I was speaking to people recently and I was like, God, it was too. So I called Sagrada, which means sacred, and then basically she was a girl too, was then the piece. So so I did end up naming her in the end. So